Live from the CBS Bay Area studios, this is KPIX 5 News.
A flash flood watch for parts of the Bay Area right now, and get ready, even more rain is on the way. We have your complete storm coverage.
But first, breaking news. After nearly 6 months without a chief of police, Oakland has just hired this woman to head that city's trouble department.
KPIX 5 broke the news first, and Joe Vasquez is outside OPD right now with what we know about Oakland's first female top cop. Joe?
All right, Liz, we started getting word out of Chicago this evening, and then we were able to confirm with sources here in Oakland that this city is about to get its new top cop. Ann Kirkpatrick from the Chicago Police Department is Oakland's new police chief. That's according to sources in the Bay Area and Chicago's WBBM TV. According to an internal memo obtained by KPIX 5, Mayor Libby Schaaf plans to make the announcement tomorrow morning following a series of meetings with city council members. Kirkpatrick was the chief of the Bureau of Organizational Development for the Chicago Police Department beginning in June of last year. Before that, from 2012 to 2014, she was the chief deputy undersheriff at the King County Sheriff's Department in Seattle. And before that, she was the police chief in Spokane from 2006 to 2012. In her most recent post in Chicago, she was selected to oversee reforms first laid out by former Mayor Rahm Emanuel after a white officer shot a black teenager 16 times. While in Spokane, she also led the department through reforms following a controversial shooting. Her reforms there emphasized holding police officers accountable. 2 police officers ended up suing her because they believe she unjustly fired them.
I am here to run a police department, not a frat house.
Last June, the mayor replaced her police chief following a series of scandals, including one involving a teenager who claimed to have had sex with dozens of Bay Area officers. The mayor then ended up replacing 2 interim chiefs. Oakland had 3 chiefs in the course of 9 days.
To root out what is clearly a toxic, macho culture.
City Administrator Sabrina Landreth has been in charge of the police department ever since. And now tomorrow morning, the mayor will announce Ann Kirkpatrick will be Oakland's first female police chief. Liz?
Yeah, she's going to expect to make the announcement, but she hasn't so far officially confirmed that this is her pick yet, though. Right, Joe?
Right. No confirmation from the mayor's office. And we understand some of the staffers over here at City Hall are a little upset because the news started coming out of Chicago this evening. And so they sort of had to send out a missive out to the city council members that, yes, this is indeed the case. We're going to formally brief you in the morning.
Stolen thunder there. All right. Thank you, Joe. Well, as we mentioned, Kirkpatrick is coming to Oakland from Chicago, where 2016 was the Windy City's deadliest year in nearly 2 decades. Chicago police say there was a surge in gun violence. There were 762 murders. That's up 57% from the year before, the largest increase in 60 years. Again, we are expecting to hear much more about the new chief tomorrow morning. We will have complete coverage on air and on our website, cbssf.com.
Well, now to our wet weather, and we're not done with it yet. Tonight, more rain on its way to the Bay Area. We've got you covered tonight with live storm team coverage.
We begin tonight with KPIX 5 Chief Meteorologist Paul Diano. Paul?
A lot of rain still in the Bay Area and also a lot of wind. We're seeing wind gusts in excess of 50 miles per hour right now at Mount Diablo, Spring Valley in San Mateo County, and also the Las Gatas Hills. To the rainfall, the North Bay, you've been seeing the most rain over the past couple hours. It is still raining in Vallejo and Napa, Santa Rosa, Petaluma, Corte Madera, Mill Valley, San Rafael. Dry in both Oakland and San Francisco, but you head farther south, it's raining steadily in San Jose, and for the past 6 to 10 hours, it has been pouring in the Santa Cruz Mountains and likely will continue to do so throughout the night. Wind advisory expires in 2 hours, but it still will be breezy throughout the night. We still will see some wind gusts 40 to 45 miles per hour over the next few hours. And in the Santa Cruz Mountains, you have been the bullseye already. Just over the past 24 hours, more than 4 inches of rain at Boulder Creek. In Marin County, Woodacre reporting 2 inches of rainfall and more than an inch in Napa and nearly 1 inch of rain in Berkeley. Lots of snow for the Sierra, and folks, this is just the beginning of a very wet and wintry pattern there. The peaks, the highest peaks of the Sierra, 4 to 5 feet of snow from this one storm by Thursday morning with wind gusts there 70 to 80 miles per hour. And this is the weaker of the two storms. We'll talk about storm number 2 coming up.
All right, Paul, thank you. Well, it has been snowing like crazy in the Sierra. In fact, the first snow survey of the season was today. Surveyors trekked through knee-deep snow and found a depth of about 34 inches. That's only 53% of normal, but a lot more snow is on the way. And Emily Turner reports, with all that new snow comes an avalanche warning for the backcountry.
Well, the snow is great for those who want to hit the slopes and enjoy it, and also for California's drought. When there's this much snow in such a short amount of time, it comes with some safety concerns. 20 inches of powder overnight and a day full of more. This winter's storm has made the Sierra a skier's paradise.
It's been a really good powder.
It's so much fun. The snow's so deep and so light, it just feels like you're floating.
But unfortunately, all that light, airy snow also makes for dangerous conditions. An avalanche warning is in full effect until Thursday morning. So while skiers and boarders are out enjoying the slopes, Sierra at Tahoe staff is keeping a close eye on their conditions.
So we have a ski patrol safety team who goes out every day. They check the safety conditions of the mountain. Every trail that we open, we make sure that it's suitable for guests and employees.
The storm is expected to dump up to 5 feet of snow through Thursday morning, and almost 2 feet fell overnight, making for hazardous conditions on the road as well. So while the powder may be the prize, local authorities want you to be careful getting there and enjoying it.
Any closures that we do have, they're closed for a reason, so we ask guests to never dip lines or go past closure signs. So definitely one of those things where you really need to respect the trail safety crew and stay where, the trails are open.
For those of you who are looking to get up here to the Sierra, you have to have chains or four-wheel drive and snow tires. And just to give you an idea, the very early hours of today, it took us almost 4 hours to get to Sierra at Tahoe from San Francisco. In Sierra and Tahoe, Emily Turner, KPIX 5.
Well, meanwhile, the Santa Cruz Mountains are also seeing heavy rainfall.
Heavy. There's a flash flood watch through the night until tomorrow morning. KPIX 5's Kit Doe joining us live at the summit. 60-mile-an-hour gust, and the rain, you are getting hammered.
Yeah, this is just unreal. It has been coming down like this since early this afternoon. We're talking like 9 or 10 straight hours of just pounding rain coming down like cats and dogs. As a result, Santa Cruz County is now under an urban and small stream flood advisory that expires just before midnight tonight. We just got off the phone with the Sheriff's Deputies Dispatchers. They are telling us that surprisingly, they're not working any flooding incidents right now, at least not yet.
Pineapple Express storm number 1 for the week arrived right on time for the South Bay evening commute, making it even more miserable than it already is. About a half inch of rain and numerous accidents, combined with the first day back for many tech workers, meant some commute routes took up to twice as long. As we head into the Santa Cruz Mountains, signs that the ground is getting saturated are everywhere. Small rock and mudslides around blind corners force cars to swerve out of the way at the last minute. Several hours of heavy rainfall were too much for this section of Blue Ridge Drive near Boulder Creek. The runoff ate away a steep section of the switchback. Crews installed bags of sand and concrete to try and limit further damage. Jennifer Bloom has lived up here for 35 years.
Oh, we're used to it. We all have backup power, fireplaces, we get by, gas, so we're good.
Here in downtown Boulder Creek, they got some of the heaviest rain today in the Bay Area, and it fell all day long. By nightfall, the town had gotten about 4 inches.
I guess you have to love the rain if you're going to live here.
I've lived here for a long time, over 30 years.
This rain is no joke.
Oh, I know it. I've been around when we've had close to 80 inches.
On our way back out of the Boulder Creek area, the hillside started giving way after a full day of rain. There were at least a half dozen mini slides on this 7-mile stretch of Bear Creek Road. No major incidents today, but if the rains keep up, get ready.
And so this storm is just a taste of what's to come. Coming up later in the forecast, Paul is going to tell us about more Pineapple Express storms coming this weekend that could drop more than half a foot of rain here in the Santa Cruz Mountains sometime between Friday and Sunday. And we're live in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Kit Doe, KPIX 5.
That is really something. Well, 2 weeks from tonight, the Warriors plan to start construction on their new home court in San Francisco. The Chase Center has been in the works for years. It was delayed by numerous regulatory hurdles and lawsuits. That January 17th groundbreaking includes an 18,000-seat arena, plus offices, restaurants, all perched next to the San Francisco waterfront. The Warriors are paying for it all. Good news for the city, but it could mean some pretty hefty ticket prices for fans.
It's been 1 month since 36 people were killed in the ghost ship warehouse fire in Oakland. So what has changed? Well, one thing is a new focus on making sure Bay Area artists are safe wherever they live. KPIX 5's Kristen Ayers shows us.
Rain fell at the ghost ship warehouse tonight on a memorial of flowers, candles, and artwork that has only grown in the month since the place burned. A sign calls for Oakland to make more safe housing for artists. Tonight, there were few visitors braving the rain to embrace and pay tribute to those who were lost, while miles away in San Francisco's Mission District.
I don't mourn, I organize, and so I organized this event.
Artist Spike Kahn runs a nonprofit art studio space, one of the only ones in San Francisco that she says is up to code. Tonight, she brought together artists and firefighters.
We need to get as many resources out to the artists who are doing work on their kitchen table and working where they're living and in the warehouses.
The event tonight is not just an opportunity to engage with the arts community, but also to give them resources. Tonight, they're handing out free fire alarms and even exit signs for people who live in art spaces. Patricia Farrell walked away with an armload of resources, a fire extinguisher, power strip, and smoke and carbon monoxide detectors.
All this stuff is things that are needed. All buildings should have fire extinguishers now.
Firefighters and building inspectors even demonstrated how to use them. Kahn may continue this campaign to educate artists about fire safety. She says it's her way of paying tribute to the ghost ship victims. Kristen Ayers, KPIX 5.
Coming up, an amazing rescue caught on camera on a California freeway.
Mass murderer Charles Manson is out of prison tonight. We'll explain.
Plus, talk tonight that Ivanka Trump and the Obamas are about to be neighbors.
And why an iceberg might not have been the only reason the Titanic sank.
Incredible video tonight out of Southern California. Whoa, an SUV on the side of the road is struck from behind, then bursts into flames, trapping a man inside. A fast-thinking cameraman jumped into action and smashed a window to reach him. Another videographer captured the unconscious driver being pulled to safety away from that burning car. The driver was taken to a Los Angeles hospital in critical condition, but is expected to be okay. The accident is under investigation.
The 115th Congress opens for business with an abrupt about-face. Republicans are once again in control of both houses, and Veronica de la Cruz reports a California woman is making history.
There'll be order in the Senate.
It was the traditional pomp and procedure on Capitol Hill today with some fresh faces.
Please raise your right hand.
Kamala Harris was sworn in as the first Indian-American senator and California's first black senator.
I do.
In control of both houses and in tandem with the incoming Trump-Pence administration, Hill GOP leaders have an ambitious agenda. Republicans hope to move quickly on Trump's cabinet nominees, holding votes on Inauguration Day. Democrats, however, are charting ways to stall those plans.
We'd be derelict in our responsibility to the American people if we just let's do all of these in a week and not ask them any tough questions.
If there's an attempt to destroy the guarantee of Medicare, harm Medicare, Social Security, or the Affordable Care Act, Democrats will stand our ground. If there's an assault on clean air and clean water, on civil rights, women's rights, or LGBT rights, if dreamers and their immigrant families face the nightmare of deportation, Democrats will stand our ground.
Trump and Republicans are on the same page when it comes to their top priority.
The Obamacare repeal resolution will be the first item up in the new year.
Now, the first controversy of the new Congress came even before members were sworn in. House Republicans voted to gut the Office of Congressional Ethics, only to reverse themselves 19 hours later. Democrats had slammed the move. President-elect Donald Trump scolded Republicans on social media with this tweet, quote, "Do they really have to make the weakening of the independent ethics watchdog their #1 act and priority? Focus on tax reform and health care." And that prompted an emergency meeting and an about-face. Alan?
Family is moving out of the White House soon, and they may already know who their neighbors are. Washington Fine Properties confirms that Ivanka Trump and her husband Jared Kushner will move into D.C.'s Tony Kalorama neighborhood. You can see from the map it's only blocks away from the Obama's new home. However, it's unclear if it's a rental home or a permanent residence.
It's a rescue featuring the power of brotherly love, and it's all caught on camera. Take a look at this. After trying to climb a dresser in their bedroom, twin toddlers in Utah tipped the piece over, trapping one of the boys. It's horrifying at first, but what happens next is incredible. One of the 2-year-olds manages to push the fallen dresser off of the other, freeing him. The parents say they immediately secured the dresser to the wall. They say they posted this video to hopefully provide a valuable lesson to others. IKEA says, quote, "We want to emphasize that the best way to prevent the tip over of chests of drawers is to anchor products to the wall. IKEA has included restraints with our chests of drawers for decades, and wall attachments is an integral part of the assembly instructions." The dresser in question was not part of a 2016 recall, but the website and instruction manual do clearly state that the product must be secured to the wall using the provided anchors.
The country's most infamous cult leader is out of prison tonight and in the hospital. Mass murderer Charles Manson was reportedly taken to a Bakersfield hospital earlier today. The Los Angeles Times is reporting that the 82-year-old is seriously ill. Manson serving 9 life sentences for the 1969 Manson family murders in Los Angeles. He has been denied parole 12 times.
Well, we all know the Titanic sank after hitting an iceberg, right? Well, maybe not. Tonight, a new documentary says that's not the whole story. The new theory comes from recently discovered old photos. You can see a dark patch on the left side of the ship's frame. Some say it shows a coal fire that had been smoldering for days as the Titanic set sail. Research suggests the intense fire in one of the coal bunkers was 3 stories high and reached temperatures at around 1,000 degrees, which heated the steel and made it brittle.
All right, Paul, solve the weather mystery for us tonight.
We will have a lot of questions over the next couple days. Atmospheric river is a Pineapple Express interchangeable terms. When you have that, it is the mountain locations that can just get hammered the most when it comes to rainfall. We're seeing that right now. You saw in Kitho's live shot just a couple minutes ago. Very heavy rainfall just south of the city of Los Gatos. This is a 4-hour time lapse of what's been going on in the Santa Cruz Mountains, with anywhere from 4 to 7 inches of rain likely on the ground there by tomorrow morning, and a stronger storm coming up over the next couple days. So here we go with the rain. We're looking at heavy rainfall continuing in the Santa Cruz Mountains for the foreseeable future. There's that time lapse once again. Go a little farther to the north where you're not in the mountains. It's far less rainfall, not even raining in San Francisco or Castro Valley. Moderate rain for Fremont, and the steady soaking rainfall does continue for the North Bay, including Sonoma County, Marin County, San Rafael, stretching east to Vallejo and Martinez. So we are wet outside tonight and warmer at 11 o'clock at night than we have been at any other point in the day. Mid to upper 50s outside. That's a tropical air mass, the temperature going up as we approach midnight. We will drop to around 50 degrees by tomorrow morning. Mountain View 52, San Rafael 48, and San Jose 50 degrees. So we're talking about a tropical air mass, certainly a change from the past several days when our source of air was coming down from Canada. That's gone. We have 2 different storms which will be heading our way. One is here right now. The next one, the wetter one, the stronger one, will get here by Saturday morning. Let's talk about tonight. Heavy rainfall in the Santa Cruz Mountains, light to moderate rain elsewhere. It'll be very soggy for the morning commute tomorrow. Rain tapers to showers after sunrise tomorrow, just that lightest shade of green on Futurecast, but still some showers around throughout the day. We will be dry on both Thursday and Friday before that next round of rain moves through. Let's add the 2 together. Rain from this storm and rain from the weekend storm. 3 to 5 inches of rain for the East Bay. That's a lot. 2 to 4 inches of rain for the South Bay, up to 8 inches for the North Bay. But the Santa Cruz Mountains and an atmospheric river event, up to 11 inches of rain. But that's not the wettest spot in the Sierra. Some computer models say there could be 20 inches of rain by this time next week. If that happens, it's not a guarantee, but if it does happen, that would be significant flooding. Mid-50s for highs tomorrow. Rain tapers to showers, so less rain tomorrow compared to today. Vallejo 54 degrees. We'll be dry Thursday and Friday, but we are getting soggy, rain heavy at times over the weekend. And in the Sierra, that is just too much rain too quickly. We know we're in a drought. We need some rain. That's a lot of rain in just a couple days.
Right.
Need to spread it out. We do. Okay. Thanks, Paul. All right, Vern's in for Dennis tonight.
This is the time of year where if you're following a local football team, you're like, yeah. But managers is like, yeah, what's this going to cost us to go? Hey, football coming up. Are you ready? Raider Nation. And there is a new cook in the kitchen going into Saturday's playoff game against the Texans. All right, NFL up top. One Bay Area playoff football team going, the Raiders. Seems like everybody but Coach Jack Del Rio are going with Connor Cook under center Saturday, although Del Rio sized it up this way.
Obviously, the weight of, oh my gosh, this is your first start and it's going to be in a playoff game. That's a big, that's a big one to bite off.
The media did not get a chance to watch number 8 practice today. The team moved practice to an indoor facility because of the weather. In case you're wondering, the Texans game is indoors. But I'll tell you this much, nothing would help Cook more than a running game. Last Sunday in Denver, they did not run well. Held to 57 yards. Murray held to 33 yards in the Texans game back in November. He cannot be a forgotten man in the offense again this weekend. Kickoff, 1:35 our time.
We didn't run it the way we need to run it. And to me, we didn't run it enough. I mean, Latavius ends up with 5 carries. How's that happen?
I never complained about how the ball was going, or where the ball was going, or how many carries before, so I'm not going to do it now. We need to find ways to win, especially now more than ever. We're in the playoffs.
Now the Texans, 3.5-point favorites. They got quarterback issues of their own. They're going back to Brock Osweiler as their starter after Tom Savage was knocked out of Sunday's game and is in concussion protocol. Osweiler was benched in Week 15. We'll keep it going, but not before I tell you that the A's re-signed a familiar face, and the Sharkies started fast, but was it enough against this nemesis from Los Angeles? NHL time. The Sharks still the one in their division. But when you're the hunted, here's a bullseye on your back. Sharks Logan Couture in for a big night. They hosted the LA Kings. Second period is where we pick it up, and Couture struck. Opened the scoring, his 12th goal, but San Jose couldn't hold a 1-0 lead. In fact, the Kings tied it, forced overtime, and in the extra period, Jeff Carter said, good night now. Game-winning goal. Sharks lost 2-1. Sharks couldn't beat them in L.A., and they could not close in San Jose. Say hello again to Rajay Davis, A's fans. Hit this Game 7 World Series tying homer for the Indians. The A's re-signed the speedster to a 1-year, $6 million deal. Davis played 3 seasons with the A's in a previous tour of duty, 2008 to 2010. Believe it or not, pitchers and catchers report for spring training in mid-February.
Really?
Already? It doesn't end.
Wow.
It doesn't end.
Their break was like 2 weeks.
But if you're in the sports department, you're a kid in the candy store. You love it when all this stuff overlaps.
Job security, baby.
We love that.
All right, thank you.
Right back.
Stay with us.
Listen up if you're about ready to head to sleep. Snore no more. There's a new bed out there that claims it has a cure. Sleep Number says its new 360 smart bed, that's Paul, you may need this bed, it can sense a person is snoring.
Maybe by hearing them.
Or, and if they are, the adjustable bed is designed to raise just the snorer's head to reduce the sound. The bed is being unveiled at the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas right now.
So automatically.
Why you were looking at all of us.
Sign us up. Or sign them up.
Girls snore too.
Not true. Impossible.
Oh, please.